what I don't get. How do you have a movie where the lead character sticks his hand up a dragon's butt? I'm 100% serious here. I couldn't believe what I was watching. So he sticks his hand up a dragon's butt and pulls out armor, etc., that's got the dragon constipated, releasing, because this scene's not done, releasing a giant dragon fart in said character's face. How does this happen? Someone had to write that scene. Someone at the studio had to sign off on it. A bunch of people had to film it. I'd be like, are we really doing this today? Oh, you guys got me. What's the real scene? But no, everyone stood around and lit that scene and set it up and figured out where the CGI would go. Someone had to perform that scene. What were you thinking, RDJ? And then someone had to CGI animate said dragon's reaction when Dolittle went in. Oh my God! This is in line with Waterworld, Cutthroat Island, Battlefield Earth, Swept Away, After Earth, The Lady in Water, Motherless Brooklyn. Some people liked Motherless Brooklyn, but I thought it was just horrendous. And hopefully, Birds of Prey isn't on that list as well. And maybe, speaking of movies that should be on that list, maybe Cats for Tom Hooper, right? And speaking of tweets, I saw one that also said that after Cats and Dolittle, somebody at Universal is getting fired. And it's particularly funny because it's probably true. $100 million for Cats, $175 million for Dolittle, and this is before advertising. It's incredible. And especially because these movies are just so bad. It's not like, oh, I kind of see, it's just bad. There's been a lot of talk online, by the way, about how director-writer Stephen Gaghan was as bad at making a VFX movie as Tom Hooper, that he was impossible to work with. Both of them were their own movie's worst enemy. But at the end of the day, Robert Downey Jr. and his wife produced this movie. And it's embarrassing. They even put a Tom Holland knockoff in the film, like they're trying to recapture the Tony Stark and Peter Parker magic. Have some self-respect, Robert Downey Jr., although, again, he was willing to film that dragon scene, so the self-respect ship has sailed. Holland does do a voice here, and all the voice actors do a pretty good job. So at least the movie's got that going for it, and I think they can all feel good about their work in this movie, even if the movie itself is unwatchable. That's right, unwatchable. This is as colossal a misfire as 1992's Toys. In fact, this movie reminded me a lot of that. And Dolittle seems very much like the type of role that Robin Williams would have played. And when you think about it, Williams and Downey Jr. are actually a lot alike, from their personal style to unfortunately personal problems. During this film, I couldn't help but feel that the line between Downey, the real-life person, and Downey as Dolittle was non-existent. So I thought that maybe that might have been a reason it was hard to critique his performance, because Downey Jr., who's also the producer and therefore your employer, might think you were criticizing him if you were like, your outfit's a little ridiculous. He's like, this was what I wore to work today. And you're like, oh, damn it. I honestly felt like a lot of the things that he had wore in the film, it seemed a lot like Downey. But Toys had its moments, as does Dolittle, to be fair. There is a wonderful animated opening telling the story, the tragic story, of how Dolittle's adventurous wife died at sea, like Elsa and Anna's parents. And I couldn't help but wonder, while I watched this really good opening, why she had to die. I was like, why couldn't I just watch a movie about a doctor and an explorer who both love animals and want to help them? Where's that movie? Especially because Downey and Cassia Smutniak, who I've never heard of before, she's like this European model kind of actress, but they made for a really cool couple. I really enjoyed their brief flashbacks together, and I feel that I should have gotten that movie. There's supposed to be a mystery, but it's not only obvious what's going on the second it's introduced. I'm like, it's that guy, and this is what he's doing. But it's also maddening that no other character in the movie can come to such an obvious conclusion. I'm like, are you serious? There's like practically actually a smoking gun on screen. This movie is not even laughably bad. I would say it's just plain horrifyingly bad. And the fact that nobody stopped it from happening is another, we're getting way too many of these, shining example of Hollywood's worst habits. So that's my review of Dolittle. Share your thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.